onto the next stage, onto grand finals, but you're still part of a losing team, so it's counterintuitive now.
Yep. Well, we will be jumping into the game.
All right, yeah, this is the game. This is a game right now. We are setting up for what's next, and what's next is Nextera. I'm really excited on how the flight path is. Most of the time, I wish for a cruel flight path, Sir Cloud, but I think it will not be today. I mean, the flight path or RNG for Free Fire right now is always being nice to the teams.
Yeah, I guess, well, just wants to give the teams a good start, right? So no excuses for the teams to hot drop anyone unless they intentionally do so. And so far from the first drop, we don't see a hot drop just yet. Oh, but hang on a second. I might have spoke too soon. Looks like we might see Heavy versus BTR.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, Heavy, most of the time they face Heavy challenge, especially with Koja already picking up a Farafal, and you know he can hit you from afar. Dix right now on Trogon as well, who might be able to take Boy, and there goes the shot. There goes the takedown. As early as this, even Kyung stole that away, and BTR grabs their first elimination, and Don't Cry will follow.
Oh, that glue wall came up a little bit too late, unfortunately. Mufasa is now down on his knees as well, and Joel right in front of him. He needs a bit more backup, but Koja is going to join him as well from the lower ground, and looks like we see an early elimination onto Heavy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is what we're talking about. You don't want to be in that place, but speaking of place, another place where engagement is happening, we have RRQ going against PE Sports. And if I'm not mistaken, PE Sports has received a lot of damage already. Nero's the only one that we are seeing in this part of Deca Square, and the chase is on 18 Zier, the clutch kid that we did mention from last year's EWC. That's one thing that I remember him as well. But on the other side, Todak did a number on GOW and also eliminated them. So I guess they're really excited right now.
Wow, okay, that's really fast. But Todak just living up to the name of philosophy of using Todak Langa. And now we have Abe. That's going to be a nice clean one from the top to secure another elimination point for his team. 3 elimination points already for RRQ, and all of them from Abe.
Yeah, I mean, from Abe, he could have picked up an ace right there, but, well, PE Sports is still alive. They have a chance, and a recovery has been done for them. For AJAL, Cypher is just waiting to be revived as well, but Team SR might be meeting up with one of the players from Zodak. Faiz set in the corner, and it's a good thing that the glue wall is there to save him, but is this enough? Because it seems like the rest of the teams is going for the backup, but there might not be any time. TMSR with Time Tainer, and that Steffi was pulled out from Faiz as well, and 590 being used by Team SR, but it's not making the shot. But there you have it. Finally, Faiz has been taken down even from afar. Traps will need to go for pickup on Noki because Cypher is already in there, and there goes Valiant Dash, taking him down, and 2 or 3 out already for Todak. Revival has been done though, but Videls needs to get away.
Oh, Todak from hero to almost being eliminated by AGAL, and now AGAL, they're on a hunt. Videls looking and taking a lot of damage by Barros. Tries to get away with the vehicle. Hopefully he's able to escape. He's kind of low on health right now. About 50% left. Barros spams. And looks like he won't be able to get that far.
Yeah, well, let's see though. I mean, the dream is still alive for Todak at this point. And for AGAL, they have 4 elimination. Now, we have seen a hit list put in onto Tikui, so that would put their name or their team's position on the minimap. Now, let's see, though, if they'll be able to just wait it out. There's 1.5 minutes to go for them to do so, but like it would slow them down, especially as the blue is already closing in. And speaking of closing in, we have BTR closing in on Virtus Pro as Joe Whale backs away, and that's what he needs right now, a little bit of distance, but from afar, Videls has been taken out. Surprise from Do, and though we're looking at Team SR, he was just putting pressure on him, and it was Do on a different angle who managed to take him down with the VSK. And Todak would be the third team to be taken out.
There was nowhere that he was able to go from that open position. But now we switch over to WAG versus a Team Flash. And Team Flash just right in front. Tikui spots them out. They know exactly where the members of Team Flash are at, and looks like they want to take the fight against them.
Hell, I see though. I mean, this fight, their location is already being shown, but they are going in for the Salt Bunker raid as well. Tikui initiating, and X-Bor receiving a lot of damage, needs to recover, leaving Tikui, but there goes Valing Dash. Vanbo was able to go and push, but unfortunate for him, he also has been knocked down now. Tikui on the roll, and this guy is unstoppable, especially if he had the M590, and seems like it's not done for Team Flash just yet. They do have one insurance policy who managed to revive a few of their teammates.
Oh, and I wonder if RRQ wants to come in as a third party now, while WAG, they're licking their wounds at this moment. But looks like they're able to recover quick enough and step away from the potential fight against RRQ. But looks like RRQ, they will initiate. Here comes the jump, and now Tikui has to continue on fighting.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, Tikui did back away. Rebel rush. Abe would be left in there, but I think for both teams, or like all players from WAG, they already have managed to raid this assault bunker, and though they left out a few that can be picked up by RQ, so it's still a chance that they have better firepower. But for Dutch right now, on the front line, with an AC-80, spotting X4 as well as Banbo, but not Tikui. Now, Tikui is on the other side, taking shots against other players from RQ. And, well, a pickup will be done on Maal right now. And they need to get away because they're out in the open right now on that top floor.
Yeah, they need to get back together with the other teammates. But WAG, they're not making the big moves. But speaking about the big moves, looks like AG, they're going to make the big moves against Virtus Pro. They're going to chase them on the outside. Taking a little bit of a risk here, but it's the points that they want.
Oh, let's see though if they can grab all those points. AGAL right now putting a lot of pressure on Virtus Pro, and what I would suggest for AG Global is just to stick together, because Virtus Pro has a tendency to split apart, and the backstab coming from Cypher would not pay off. A few damage per recovery, but Boon Chain does go down, and Cypher almost out of HP as well, but AGAL still putting pressure, do manage to be taken down, and Nameless as well, and Virtus Pro eliminated by AG Global without losing any players, and now they have 9 points.
Dude, just like that, it's almost like you blink and you miss it moment for AG Global. That is how aggressive they're playing today. It just shows the frustration that they had from last week is carried forward onto this week, because they lose out just by a tiebreaker. They don't want that to happen again. They want to start off strong. They go in for the eliminations and hope for the best. But now it also depends on what other teams will do as well. RRQ and WAG. This fight might just happen.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, WAG has been avoiding a lot of fight, especially when RQ was involved earlier from the assault bunker, now into this area. Now, speaking of area, within the area of Evo Divine lurks PE Sports, and I think they have information already, because we know the binoculars being used, especially on Russia right now. But do they have an opening? Do they have an angle to take against PE Sports? There goes the launch pad already being laid down, and this is a move in one corner of PE Sports area so that they can go in for the flank. Nero receives damage, but not so much of a knockdown.
And Ray is looking for an opening. If you got that knock, then I'm sure that they will rush in. But no knock, no opening yet onto PE Sports, and they're not really that desperate to try to take over the compound of PE Sports. So they can hold this position for now. Same goes for PE Sports as well. So unless something significant happens, I believe that both teams will hold their spot. But we're back at WAG. But this time, they have another team. Around the corner is going to be BTR.
Yeah, let's see though, BTR. Earlier, they were aggressive in Intellect Center, but now they've gone silent. They gone dark and slowly creeping in, waiting for next phase of the circle to happen. And speaking of phase of the circle, AGAL will need to find a place in this next phase because it's closing down and it might go anywhere. But those in the safe, I would say, is WAGBTR and EVOS, unless a hard shift onto Farmtopia would be happening, and that's what the teams is looking out for. Bremen United has stayed and silent in Museum. That's their usual drop spot, and they haven't moved an inch. Typical BRU gameplay, first 10 minutes and they are not moving. But as I mentioned, WAG, BTR, EVO, same goes with BRU as well as PE Sports are safe on that shift of the circle.
Well, if you mention that Buriram United, their playstyle is not really to move, but to show up during the later stages of the game. Again, because of how the circle shifted, it gives them no reason to truly move unless another team comes by and they see an opportunity to gain those elimination points. It could be PE Sports, it could be any other team that might come by as well. But Team Flash, they're going towards where BTR is at. Here we go.
And let's see now, BTR moving away just in time because you did mention Team Flash is lurking beside them, but they're also in the view of Bremen United. If Moshi has spotted them already, they will be going down and get high. Started it off with that AC-80 from afar. Not quite sure if they have that information because from the way I'm looking at this, they don't know where Bremen United is. They know there's a drop spot, but they didn't think that they will be staying here for so long. So this corner of this roof is still viable as a hiding spot unless the shift of the circle would be the other way.
Yeah, and to be fair to the teams, they don't know if Buriram actually moved away. But now we're going to focus on to RRQ versus WAG. RRQ, they're going to siege down the compound, the building where WAG is at. They're still clumped inside. All throwables onto the inside, but Joel gets the first knock. That is an opening for RRQ, assisted. And look at Dudes getting a double for himself. WAG, next team to be eliminated.
It's just unfortunate that's a 1-for-2 trade by Dudes. And another unfortunate event was BTR was stealing away all those elimination away from RRQ. So not quite sure if they capitalize or RRQ really capitalized on that win for the team versus team. But BTR, similar to what I mentioned earlier, aggression from afar. This is what you need. You get to stand in the final circle in a safe spot, and this is what a lot of teams is pulling out. But Kyong managed to take down a Bay using that FGL, but another steal. Indonesia stealing Indonesia's elimination.
Man, at this point, everyone's so close to each other. Steals can happen. So they got to make sure if they get a knock, try to get the elimination. Try to lock it in. But now it's going to be AGAL versus EVOS as the circle shifts away. This will force these two teams to fight.
And let's see now if they will be fighting. Ice grenades being thrown. Saifa receiving a lot of damage from that nade. Follow up onto Barros as well. He was cooking, not only with grenade, but also with a frying pan, but he wasn't able to respond. Saifa a little bit in too close. And if he'll be able to break through, he will go for the knockdown. And Cold Shield with the first one switching over. Apex right now on the Drogon. No response just yet, but Eva's Divine is still alive. And Ray managed to be taken down. Now it seems like EVOs will be taken out, and it is AGAL, AG Global, in a global scale, getting a lot of elimination.
Oh man, I love how they strategize themselves to take down that compound, especially by sending Dew on a flank just to distract the members of EVOS. And when they were distracted because of Dew, the other three members of AGAL rushed in through the front door, took them out, cleared them out, and gained those points.
Let's see though if they can gain more points, because my heart was beating hard for AGAL at that point, because they've already stacked up on points, and if they lose that, if they could have lost that against EVOs, it's wasted effort. But now they're still alive, jumping in onto BTR, and let's see if they can take that, do that once again. Saifa started it off, and from afar, a lot of shots from different team, and it is RRQ who's trying to end it with all those nades, and RRQ managed to get a lot of points. They rain down against these teams of BTR and AGAL, but Team Flash will also be joining them in this area, giving time for Brim United to deal with PE Sports.
Oh, and now it's time for Buriram United to get into action.
no.
Moshi, unfortunately, is down. Wasana is taking a lot of damage from the blue, but PE Sports is forced to move forward as well. Only Wasana left, and PE Sports, they need to deal with it, but hang on a second. Joanna is still there, but he's taking a lot of damage as well from the blue. LBT shows himself. Joanna goes down. It's only Wasana, 60% of health. What can he do against the three players of PE Sports?
That's a 1v3 situation that even Wasana don't want to be part in. But speaking of being part, RQ, despite losing dudes, still has that fighting chance. For Nero though, good time turner being pulled out against Wasana. But is this enough? Wasana receiving damage from LBT, a 1v2 situation, and no clutch for this guy. PE Sports managed to take them down. Now RQ is here to dominate if they can push through this walls and glue wall. But Aiden Deer says no wall can stop us. We're here to grab the booyah against you. And Lao Ho, the only player remaining, and PE Sports will be out, and RQ grabs that booyah for this first round.
Well, that was a very quick ending there. RRQ, they timed themselves right on when exactly to go in, when exactly to take that final fight, and it was right after PE Sports was done with Buriram United while they were still recovering, while they were still figuring out where else to go. Here comes RRQ to decide it for them to send them back into the lobby.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were sent back to the lobby, but they won't be waiting for long because they did get second place. One unfortunate thing, though, if I'm not mistaken, is Buriram United has been taken out with minimal points because we didn't see them for the first half of that match, and I'm quite worried that they will be getting a lot of points. Because speaking of points, apart from RQ, we also have is set. Once everything is clear, then we start off with the next game.
Yeah, we just want to ensure a fair competitive ground for everyone out there, right? So I'm sure our marshals behind the scenes are doing their best, but our teams will now need to do their best because we're heading on to our next game here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere because the action will begin right now.
Yep, well, this is a green grass of Bermuda, the OG map for all survivors out there. And back to Flight Path, it is very nice. But the only question is, will the hot drop or those dropping be nice as well? Because we don't want to see hot drops, especially for those who lost out early. And it seems like Heavy is safe right now. For the rest of the teams, I think it would be because there's not so much of contention even from the first part of the teams or first half of the teams that has dropped out already.
Well, maybe that might happen in the second half. BTR had a late drop, so we'll keep an eye on what happens later on because they were one of those early fight teams in the previous round. But so far, it seems that everybody is cool with their drops. No clashes, and it's a little bit unusual if you ask me. I thought that, at the very beginning, teams would just want to go at it, especially if we're talking about teams like AG Global from what we've seen earlier on. But looks like it might still happen here. EVOS and PE Sports.
Yeah, let's see though if Evos will win this fight against PE Sports. And on the other side though, Team Flash would be losing out on that flame as well. The first blood would be BTR, and the Zom has been pushed away. Joel, I believe this is a Kingfisher on him. Put in a lot of damage. Now the flank coming from Koja right now might take A, B, C, D out. But no shots onto him directly. And there goes a minigun as well, just to make sure that no concession or no rush will be put on him, leaving some of the players from Team Flash. But Dick says UMP would be my serving for you. And ABCD counting 1, 2, 3, 4 before he had been taken out.
Well, BTR, they don't have the Falcons to hunt. Might as well look for a new target now. And it so happened to be Team Flash. But on RRQ's side, looks like they got something out of Tora as well.
Hell, let's see though if they can get a few points against Todak. Team Flash right now, well, after the engagement earlier, Shin has been revived. Not quite sure how far or how near Shin is on RRQ right now, but for BTR, the rest of Team Flash is being mowed down. And Brim United, well, there's no waiting for the 10-minute mark. They want to get a lot of elimination, and Tikui shows up already. The only question is, will he be taken down right now and get high? Will not make any shot, will not risk getting in there as well, because the rest of the teams need to load up on their weaponry as well as on their stocks.
Well, Tikui got away, so that's okay. Of course, he's one of the star players for his team. So if Buriram actually got him, then that's actually quite a big bounty there. But of course, he can be revived again, but that will be a separate conversation. But our conversation now will be circle around WAG and Tora. And Tora is actually heading towards WAG. Van Vo blue wall up and reviews his position. Now they know they have company around the area.
Yeah, let's see, in Bambo, this is not a weapon up close for up close battle AC-80, but the main Uzi right now, plus the Valiant Dash, but no takedown just yet! But Bambo managed to take down Fidels. A little too late though. A pickup can be done, but here comes the rest of the teams mowing down against TDK. And Todak right now, almost, oh yes, they have been eliminated. So not quite sure if they grab any point there, but it doesn't look like it. But this time around, WAG is now capitalizing on those engagement and getting all the points. But who's up for the next challenge? It is Buriram United, who has inserted the coin and will be the next challenger.
Well, looks like Buriram United this time is going to be a different type of gameplay by them. They're going to play this round a little bit more active as compared to the previous round. But another fight's happening here involving Virtus Pro and EVOS and Nameless. Together with his teammates, they just got a member of EVOS. And Virtus Pro right now looking for their next target is in the building while they reset themselves. The Zom on the second floor is now recovering. And the Zom now will be seized down. Looks like there's not only EVOS but also Team Flash. The Zom will fall. His other teammates are just too far away to support him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Evos stepped in, but the moment that they saw Virtus Pro, then slowly backs away. But AVAC says, all right, come and chase me. AC-80 is ready for you. But Boom James is going in, putting so much pressure. But the backstab coming from Wong he is pinched. And Expose finish the job, and Boom James has spotted one players as well from Team Flash. And unfortunately for AVAX though, I mean, he could have grabbed that point, but he didn't confirm.
Oh, I saw that pan flip there by Moshi. I was wondering that if he had the idea of like, oh, can I throw the pan that far? No, Moshi, it doesn't work that way, okay? But
he's cooking. He's cooking. I'm just waiting for the stove to warm up right now.
I like that. I'm trying to catch up to the Gen Z terms as well. Okay, yeah, he's cooking with the pan. But look who else is cooking. Esports, Nolan just took down someone somewhere else, so there's another fight happening. But we could potentially see this fight between Buriram and GOW.
Yeah, let's see how this unfolds, because Rip right now might be ripped to shreds. I mean, he just came back from the revive and he's jumping in Pochinok, and there's no one from the rest of GOW who is in this area. Well, I stand corrected. Another one will be dropping in. So there's a little bit of backup, but I don't think they have the weapon on to their side. But Brave United right now, 4 elimination already. A little bit quick. Not even a 10-minute mark, and they're putting in the numbers, but we need them to put in so much more so that they can catch up to the loss that they have earlier. But for BTR, 6 elimination already in front of Evos, and Coach Shield might be targeting them from that corner, thus they are being pushed away.
I guess they don't have enough information. That's why they decided not to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking about fight, Garena? Oh, they didn't know. They didn't know. They still don't know. Really? Oh, so lucky. They didn't know there was a guy from GOW there.
Well, unless a skill or probably that binoculars will be put up, then that is when they will know. But speaking of knowing, Brave United is now, or position is now known because the hit list has been put on Moshi. So their rotation would not be safe anymore. I guess this is where Brave United would be slowing down. But for Evos, they slow down earlier from the lower parts of Pimasakti. After BTR has spotted them, they fired back and they push BTR away. So I guess they're still safe. They are close to the next phase of the circle, but they need to be cautious because we still have 11 teams remaining. And later on, because this is an OG map, not so much of real estate might be available anymore.
And I understand why BTR wasn't interested as well, right? Just because of how the circle shifted. So it's not really a point for them to contest EVOS unless they really need the points. But because we're only in round number 2, so you don't need to be overly desperate for those points yet. Unless if you're AGAL and you still bring the frustration from last week, then it's going to be a different conversation. But if you were to look at what's happening up north, Neptune, BTR and Virtus Pro.
Hell, let's see though if they'll be able to take one out of this teams or of this mix, because they will be playing outside of blue, and I know the second phase doesn't have that much damage, but it's closing to the third phase already. And if I was their team, yeah, you can try to push one and probably eliminate them because this is their chance, or they can just move close to the next phase of the circle and then deal with them as they race against you. But Exposing with a God Nade against Dix, and Boon James would follow up with that M590. Joel, though, managed to pay back, taking out Nameless. Dix right now almost being taken out. A pickup is being done as well as recovery from Kyung, and this is the risk of playing outside the blue. You're also receiving additional damage. Now, a pinch by Exposing and Boon James, and potentially by Diamond, but a flank onto the other side, taking down that glue wall with Riptide Rhythm. It's now up to Joel to clutch this up on a 1v3.
And Joel from afar. He tried to protect his teammates, but then again, now it's a 1v3. It's going to be pretty difficult. And unfortunately, Joel has been eliminated together with the rest of BTR. While we shift forward to AGAL, they are a team that will not shy away from a fight. Here comes AGAL onto GOW.
Yeah, same strategy that we've seen earlier, especially with Zoo on the snipe M82B, and he managed to take down Rip even before Team SR gets into them, gets into him or his position. Now, GOW is being pushed away, and not quite sure if AGL will continue on that chase. But on the other side, RQ has stayed here Rimnam Village for a long time, and Heavy managed to flank against them. But RRQ, the potential of getting a back-to-back has been taken out, and it's not just pressure of Heavy right now. They receive a lot of damage between Heavy as well as PE Sports. Now, Heavy might be in trouble because it is PE Sports who is in front of them towards that next phase of the circle. So let's see though if Heavy will be paying for that. But for Brave United, they have the first pour. They are still on the hit list, and they still have half a minute to work with. And Evo's Divine is waiting for them to show up.
And RQ out without a single elimination point. This will open up the opportunity for another team, especially like AGAL or PE Sports, overtake them. Anyway, now focus on to Buriam United. Not able to cross the road. 2 players out. Wasana, Get High, eliminated. Now it's only Moshi and Joanna. WAG is still behind them, and they cut across. Buriram United now, they will gatekeep Buriram United from coming into the circle.
M249 coming from Evos was deadly, but speaking of deadly, Virtus Pro receiving the deadly damage coming from Team Flash, and it's a flashy move as well. They have that Steffi, they pull it out, but there's no need for troubles at that point. It's more shotguns that made it work. So the top team already out. AGAL is only a few points remaining. Take the #1 spot. But for WAG right now, still putting a lot of pressure on Buriram United. The only question is, will Buriram United continue this role and revive the full squad? Or will this be it? Will they be stuck in the corner? Because not only is WAG putting pressure on them, but AGAL is also getting close, and Get High is being taken out.
Yeah, it could be a case of from the pan to the fire for Buriram United and AGAL. They are pushing towards Buriram United, as you can see here on screen right now. Moshi has to get away with the jump pad, goes up to the higher ground, but he's not on the clear yet. Barros still knows exactly where he is. One shot onto him, down to 50% of health. He still needs to find a way to put himself in a safer position. But now here comes WAG against EVOS.
See now in WAG, Tikui on a Trogon managed to survive and backs away. But Evos though spread out. Banbo almost taken down. ABAX rather, receives damage and has been knocked down up close and personal. And it's a good thing that trade-off has happened. Ray will be taken out. Evos eliminated in 7, and WAG still alive with 8 points. And it was Evos who initiated that plan of taking it out. And WAG is just trying to get into the next phase of the circle, but they survive.
It's a tough 2 rounds for EVOS. Something needs to work out in the 3rd round in order for them to regain their momentum. But right now, we're going to focus back onto AGAL. And there's still one player from Buriram United on the outside. And that's going to be Moshi. And Team SR is just waiting for Moshi to make the move. He knows that that's going to be a point that they can collect.
Yeah, so Moshi has already used that launch pad to get into the next phase circle. And that distracted AGAL to look away from Wasana, because earlier, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember it right, Wasana was just hiding out of those trees, and now he managed to cross over. The only question is, can he survive this onslaught being brought in by Heavy, because shots is being thrown at him, and now even Moshi would be out of picture. AGAL next phase of the circle, they can put pressure on Team Flash right now. The same goes for a pinch that can be done by PE Sports, and it will be tough for Team Flash and AGAL. Only a backstab from Heavy would take them down.
But Heavy's making their move towards Wasana at the southern side. And looks like Heavy will clear off the south, and it will find an entrance into the circle later on. But then again, now on the higher ground, we have AGAL putting the pain onto Heavy. With this sort of position, who is going to be able to challenge AGAL?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, great high ground. And, well, I was a little bit caught off guard because Heavy is in lower ground compared to AGAL. So they're still in good view, especially at the snipe being done. But this is the pressure that we're talking about earlier. They're already feeling it from AGAL. Then PE Sports steps in a little bit closer, and PE Sports just push everyone from Team Flash into the way of AGAL. Now, here comes Heavy. And this is Thailand against 2 teams from Vietnam. Now, if AGAL can manage to survive all this, or probably fight them team after team, then they will be grabbing that booyah, or they can lure PE Sports to flank Heavies away. And Barros, though, with a God Nade against Mufasa, and follow up by Nolan against Alan. It seems like Heavy is receiving heavy damage, but they're in the way of the shift for the circle.
Oh, and all these teams will be forced to move right now. Barros will finish off Bui. And now Heavy is still right from AGL. The fight will definitely go on, but here comes PE Esports from the other side as well. Don't cry. Hopefully he doesn't cry because right now there's no one else to save him. Don't cry will be eliminated by AGAL. The fight will continue on AGL and PE Esports from the high ground to the low ground. AGAL still has the geographical advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they do have advantage, especially Zoo on high ground, and a good elevation for him. He managed to go for a knockdown, but there's no follow-up, and PE Sports is using this ridge, their advantage, not even giving an inch. Riptide Rhythm once again, but Nolan managed to get away, pulls out another glue wall, and spreads out a little bit too thin. Now, this might be an advantage for them, because the moment that they get a knockdown, they can rush in, because I've seen Rebel Rush as well as a Valiant Dash on PE Sports side, but AGAL sticking together, making sure that no one will be left behind, but LBT might be the next target, but no! Nolan has been taken out. Now LBT will be the next target. That time turner, crucial for their survival, and AG Global only one Nero to deal with, and Team SR managed to do it, and they grab that booyah!
AGAL, aggressive gameplay in game number 1, an absolute amazing booyah in game number 2. The boys of AGAL are not backing out. They want that number 1 spot for themselves, and it's only game number 2. What more can they show on the table? With the remaining 4 more games, expect more action from AGAL coming soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is coming soon. They might have missed an opportunity to take top 3 from previous match, but they did put in the numbers. And with this booyah, as well as 20 whopping elimination, that brings them a 30 points. And it would, well, bring them to the number 1 spot. No questions asked. But the only question, though, is how did the rest of the teams perform? Because RQ has fallen down a little bit too early. And it's tough though, but that's what comes, especially if you don't stay away from your position. And RQ was just in Rimnam Village, and 2 teams was converging on them. One of them is PE Sports, who grabbed that 2nd place.
Yeah, unfortunately, RQ, no elimination points in this round. PE Sports was the next team after AGAL, so they're the closest. But we cannot deny the fact that AGAL had focusing on the one team, but in Battle Royale, you have to think about your surrounding, and we are going to think about what's going to happen inside our next match here, inside of Solara. Let's go!
Let's go. I mean, who will be the sole survivor in Solara at this point? Now, flight path would be still as fair as ever, and the hub would be taken by Buriram United. Evo Zivine is already dropped in here studios, and Eco Drain will be taken by Virtus Pro. Now, we also have Bloomtown B by WAG. What I'm looking forward to is who's dropping in Windmill. Most of the time, that's where the hot drop is happening, as well as Delta Isle, and RQ and GOW might be these teams, unless GOW pulls away.
Wait, is RRQ deliberately dropping here to challenge GOW just because they see GOW as a target that they can get elimination points to give them a better chance of getting the number 1 spot? Now, that could be it.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the case. RQ, if I'm not mistaken, like they hot drop Team Falcons as well, or it might be vice versa. But Abe right now, MP40 in hand, and there goes early Valiant Dash, but that glue wall averted any challenge from RRQ. Smart move coming from GOW right now. Quick response as well. And let's see though, GOW can stack up in weapons as well as utilities because they need it right now. Minigun has been taken down, and 18 Deer will be taken down with an M1887 by Demon. And slowly but surely, Demon would be growing all those horns and putting all those fangs against RQ. Only Mal remains with that Mag 7 enhanced would be that threat. No, prioritizing on the pickup and probably recovery coming from a revive coming from Maal right now, but Maal might be in trouble, but still managed to go for 2 knockdowns before going down.
Well, looks like the plan didn't work for RRQ as how they would have wanted. They only managed to get a 1 point out of that, but they gave away 3 points to GOW. Man. But it was an attempt by RRQ, not gonna lie. It was an okay attempt because they still want to chase that #1 spot. So at least they tried something. But now, WAG and EVOS, and we did talk about like EVOS, they need to be able to find like a rhythm that suits their gameplay. And now they'll be able to test that against WAG.
Zeta, I mean WAJ, a team that tried so much but didn't get so far, and the same goes with Evo's Divine, but it's not late, it's not over just yet. We're still on the 3rd map for today, and there's still a huge chance. On the other side, we have BTR and Todak, and that Aurora Vision from Koda has been popped already, and it seems like Todak might have been spotted. Now the Inoculus will be response to get the information and how many would be in a specific area. Noki right now, great elevation, plus the flank coming from Faiz, and Faiz goes for the knockdown against Kyong and a finisher right now, but yo! Traps almost lost Noki, and Joel would be the only one remaining with only a few HP, and there goes the jump. Drogon would not work because Joel's a little too quick in the slide rails, but will he get away? And there goes that shot from Traps, that chase from Traps, relentless to take them out.
Arguably, that's going to be one of the more stylish moves that we'll be able to see today, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, the fight's not over yet. WAG and EVOS. Now we have Decoy here, buying a little bit more time for his health to go up before he continues on the fight. But Rasia behind him. You got to be extra careful. Surrounded still by the members of EVOS as Rasia repositions himself, gets away to safety. WAG looks like they will have this area for themselves now.
Yeah, they would have this area if the pickup will not be done against Evos. But on the other side, Apex managed to go in for a revive. Now Traps receiving damage from PE Sports, and he is solo right now. Traps, after going for the chase, Cord, I believe that Cord has been let go already, and Todak would be in 60 points in 2 games. How can you do it? Only AJL is showing up like this time around.
Yeah, they're stealing away the points from everyone else. And they broke their record, right? So in the previous round, it was 20.